So in today's video, you might be hearing a little kind of humming sound. I mean, if you listen a little closely, and that is literally just a sound of my fan, because the past couple of days have been way too hot, and this room is like a sauna. I mean, my window's facing the sun, so the sun comes directly in. It's way too hot, so you might just hear a little humming sound. Just telling you what it is. So let's get into the video. Okay, so you've read the title, so you know what the video is going to be about. It's either, do you think a DSLR is worth it, or maybe just stick with your phone if you don't have a DSLR yet, because it's one of those things where I felt like in the past probably couple months that question has come to me, and people have asked me, can I do the same kind of shots that I posted on Instagram and stuff with my phone? And you can, and there are obviously some pros and cons to both not having a DSLR and just using your phone, and obviously vice versa, so using a DSLR instead of your phone. But before we start that, we did get something in the mail in this little box, and you know, I've been waiting a couple months for this, and it's finally here, and we can do a little again. We've done this before with a very similar product, pretty much kind of the same product, just a different variation of it, and we did that in the past. We did an unboxing of it, so if I want to do the same thing today, we've got another pack of playing cards based around photography. You know, it's pretty cool. Same person, Travel 9 to 5, guy called Eric. Check out his stuff, it's really cool. But I mean, look at these cards. These are the editing cards, you know, for editing. Obviously we have that pack up there, which is just photography. This pack right here, this is the photography deck, you know, just stuff about how to, you know, how to improve on your photography skills, learn a bit more about the techniques, and just stuff generally about photography. That's what this pack is. Now we've got this pack. Obviously you can see there's a bit of a theme going on. Obviously this is a special edition, so this one got the green as a special edition. But yeah, this one's obviously the white and green. And you know, it's pretty nice. It's a little different from that one, but I'm not complaining. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was hoping that we were gonna get the videography deck of cards, because obviously we have the photography ones, and I just felt like the opposite, well, not the opposite, more the parallel to that is videography. So I would have thought that'd been cool. But you know what, editing's still pretty cool. So you know, let's open these up. I haven't taken off the seal yet, so you're here to experience all this with me, so let's go on with it. Already I can already see the light shining just on the green here. I mean, we've both got different perspectives at the moment, but right here, because of the light here, I'm getting a nice green shine right here. It looks pretty cool, it looks pretty nice. So let's open these up. I'm going to be really careful with this because I just don't want to damage the casing. Already we've got a bit of a difference. We've got some stars on there, if you can see that. I mean, it's not like that's obviously the main thing to it, just nice little detail to it. Yeah, these are just as nice as the one I got them ones. You know what I mean? The quality is still there, all the information. It's pretty good, very useful. You know, if honestly, if you really are thinking about getting photography, I'm pretty sure I've said this when, you know, we did that video. If you are thinking about getting into photography and all that kind of stuff, those cards definitely worth it. And you know, if you think about going beyond that and going to editing, a bit more professional side of editing, you might as well just get these as well. I mean, look at that, I'm talking about file formats, and we literally did a video on that 2 weeks ago, last week, I think it was 2 weeks ago. So you know, this stuff is useful if you want to get into, you know, the whole editing side of photography. Anyway, I've gone on about the even the backs look, got like a nice little green to them. I mean, I wasn't looking at the back, so I didn't see them. But anyway, yeah, so that is these cards, the photo editing deck, the little cheat sheet deck. And you know what, I would say, I mean, I've already said it before, if you're into photo editing, or you want to get into it, definitely might get some of these. Alright, so back to this week's video, and like I was saying in the beginning, we're going to be talking about, do you really need a DSLR, or can you get by with, not maybe, you know what, I'm being a bit biased with this, maybe I should say getting by, can you actually do something just as good, maybe better, with your smartphone. Because I mean, the good thing is with technology nowadays, our phones nowadays, smartphones, they've actually come such a long way, and the amount of technology in them and the amount you can push them to get you some really good results is crazy. So, you know, let's just start off with just a couple different points. And obviously this isn't a video that's going into so much detail that I'm gonna give you everything, every single, every point, pro, con about a DSLR and your phones. I'm gonna give you just a simple overview, because it is one of the things as well where obviously I'm gonna give you my opinion, but essentially it's your choice to pick which one you want and which one you think you need for your situation. So let's get started. Okay, so the first point, and one that might pop up a little bit more later on possibly, is just the cost. So when we're talking about your DSLRs and your smartphones, they're two different things. With your smartphone, it's something you already have, it's in your pocket right now. You might even be watching this on a smartphone, so it's kind of justified the price of having your smartphone, because I mean, let's face it, you're not going to buy a separate smartphone for your photography. You'll use the one you're watching this on now, or the one in your pocket, whatever. So cost wise, you're not really adding any cost, if that makes sense, because you already have it. Whereas if you are going out to buy a DSLR specifically for your photography, then it might set you back a little bit. I mean, it might not be that much. You can get some okay DSLRs if you are starting off for maybe something like, I don't know, maybe 400, 500 pound possibly. Obviously if you want to really go all out, you can get one for like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 if you're really pushing. But I mean, that's a massive commitment if you're doing that. And also, when I do say cost, I'm not just talking about the camera body itself. There are obviously other things that will come into the cost if you are buying a DSLR, such as things like your lenses, maybe some filters, just tripods, just anything really to do with an accessory for your camera, your DSLR, that will come into your costs. And I mean, yeah, your phone will have some additional costs if you want to buy some specific lenses for your phones, which we'll get into a little later on. But just as an overview, the cost that you will be spending on your smartphone is way less compared to if you're gonna go out and get a DSLR. So that's your first point. So like I said earlier, phones nowadays, they're getting more and more advanced as time goes on. One good thing that a lot of phone manufacturers are doing is they're giving you multiple camera lenses built into your phone. Now with the phone I've got, it's obviously got a couple different lenses on it, and I'll admit personally I don't use all of them that much, because obviously I use my DSLR, but obviously this isn't about what I'm using, this is about what you think is best for you. Now there are some pros and cons for having a phone that has multiple cameras built into it. So the first pro, I would say, pretty obviously, you have 3 or 4 lenses built in to this one device. I mean, you only carry around this, that is all you're carrying around, and you don't need to carry around obviously like a camera bag, any of that weight there, any lenses, filters you might need to, that's something else. But yeah, you don't need to carry any of that around, any camera bags. Everything you need lens wise is right here. Obviously you can go out and buy those, I've seen a couple of them, like little tiny lenses that you kind of just clip on over your actual lens, and then it gives you some effects and stuff. And sometimes that works. I've seen some pictures that it works kind of well with, so not so much. But I mean, that is also what I'm getting to with the con. So the main con with having your phone as your thing to take photographs is you can't really change the actual lenses. I mean, I did just say you can stick something there, but that's not your actual lens, so it'll give you kind of an effect and it might do kind of well, but you're not actually changing the lens. Whereas obviously with the DSLR, the lenses clip off. You can have some multiple ones. You can take, I mean you have a decent range, and obviously you can get more than that. You can get ranges from literally just from macro shots to something way off in the distance if you want. So your phones can't really do that. And actually, speaking about that, so let's say there is something in the far distance. Obviously if you get some lenses, you can have a zoom lens, zoom in, you still got some nice quality there. Whereas when it comes to your phone, chances are you will have to zoom in digitally, where obviously you pinch and zoom. Now by doing that, you won't be getting the highest quality image. You'll most likely be adding some noise, some grain to your shots, which it kind of does take away the quality of the image. So just think about that if you are going to zoom in. Like I said, you might be able to find some additional attachments that clip on and give you like a zoom effect. I will say though, it won't be as good as a DSLR. Now another positive for your DSLR is, you can change your file format. So if you want to shoot in JPEG, you want to shoot in RAW, you have that option. Whereas when it comes to phones, I mean, chances are, at least from my knowledge and from what I know, you can't really go in and change or even select a different file format. I mean, don't get me wrong, there might be a couple of phones that you can do that with. I can't do it with mine, and I mean that could be an issue for you. It might not be if you don't care that much about it, but if, like I was saying in the beginning of this video, if you want to get into photography, you might want to start shooting in RAW. And also, like I was saying in the beginning of this video, a couple of weeks back we did make another video about why you should be shooting RAW, and the positives and the negatives of that. And to be honest, just to give you a bit of an overview for that video, it really is better to shoot in RAW. I mean, there was like 1 or 2 negatives, but yeah, generally you want to be shooting in RAW if you're into photography, and you can't really do that with your phone. So it's a negative towards it, but again, if you don't care about it that much, it's not that much of an issue. And for the Third Pro, this is more for, I'd say, videography more than photography, but we're talking about the subject, and also it's built into your phone, so it's pretty cool. So what it is most phones nowadays, they have a built-in video stabilizer, which, I mean, you can pretty much guess what that is. Basically, if you're making a video of something and then you're using your hands, you're not using any gimbal or anything, you'll record it, whatever, and naturally you will get some shake using your hands. It's just how just how it will be. So instead of actually going out to buy a gimbal for your phone, and I guess this is kind of against the DSLR, because obviously if you're going to buy a DSLR, what we're talking about right at the beginning of this video was cost. One thing you might need to buy is a gimbal, and they can be pretty expensive. You can maybe get some for maybe like $250, maybe the cheapest, for a decent one, and a decent good one maybe $500. So you might have to bring that into your cost. Whereas for your phone, by having a built-in video stabilizer, it kind of cuts that out. And honestly, I've used it once or twice, not for any video that I think I've done on this channel, I don't think, but I've used it for just some personal stuff, just if I'm trying to get some cool footage of just something I'm just messing about, really, just something like that. And I've looked at the footage and it does a pretty good job. It does pretty well, considering I'm literally holding it, maybe even just one-handed. I'm just getting something, maybe, I don't know, I saw something fly about, I'm like, whoa, that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool, and the fact it's built in is another plus if you're thinking about using your phone to capture your media. Alright, and that's the video, and I hope you did like it, because I did say in the beginning that obviously I wanted to make just a simplified version of some of the points I had that that are both for and against both a DSLR and a smartphone, because again, it's one of those things I didn't want to go into too much detail, because that'd be boring. And also it would be good if you did go into maybe a bit of your own research, just so you know exactly what you'll be getting yourself into, because it is one of the things you don't want to be going out spending what, 500, 600, maybe £1,000 on a camera, and maybe some lenses and some kit and whatever, and then when it gets to it, you just feel like, oh, I could have just done all of this that I'm doing with my camera with my smartphone. So you don't get into one of those predicaments where you felt like you've now just wasted some money. So again, think about it, and then maybe think about just if you should get one, if you shouldn't. But anyway, I'm droning on a bit. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you like it. If you did, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you in next week's video, which hopefully, actually, now think about it, we might actually make a kind of a bit of a part 2 to this video using these. Now put this up here with the rest of them. I'll probably have to configure it a little bit better, but I mean that looks nice.